What's going on, you guys? It is your boy Big Hance, and I'm here with another video. Except this video will be quite different. I'm actually here to talk about a certain subject that has been heavily on my mind recently, and I'm hoping that I can have like a actual sit down talk and understanding with the DC community about something that has been rather weird to me, honestly. But before I go any further, what's going on, you guys? I hope you all are doing great. Sorry, it's been taking me a while to do another video. I've been very sick lately, so I've been unable to really do anything when it comes to recording. Especially if you guys don't want me to sound like I'm dying or anything like that. But besides that, we're just here to talk about what's on my mind and what I really want to talk about when it comes to what I've been seeing recently when it comes to DC Universe Online. So there was a time during my sickness that I was doing a B&E run, and it was just a random pub group, nothing like organized or anything like that. And apparently, if you want to know what type of people we had in the group, we had pretty much a pretty okay tank. He was pretty okay, pretty solid. The healer was pretty good. The troll was pretty good. Everybody was pretty good when it comes to the content that was being ran. But the issue with what happened during that time was there was a DPS in particular. Now I'm going to let you know right now, this DPS was a EOG user. And this is a regular pub group. This was like a last second um, run of the week. You know how a lot of people will say, try to get your stuff done early in the week because when it gets to like anything between Sunday, maybe Monday, you're going to have a hard time getting a group together because most of the good players have really did their thing. So I'll say anything else after that is just really a case of stragglers just really just trying to catch up and get things done before the Tuesday reset. But when it comes to this particular day, like I said, I've been really sick lately. So I've been having a hard time trying to catch up recently when it comes to getting content ran. And so this particular day, we had a group, and out of all the people that was in the group, we had a person that was using ELG. And this person was pretty quiet. He wasn't really saying too much in the beginning, but I'm assuming as the content was being ran, he started to notice something a little bit different from what he's used to when it comes to running content. And so the we got into the fight with Grundy, obviously because we were running B&E, and we were doing pretty good. Everyone was alive. Um, Everybody was doing good DPS. Everything was particularly great. And so as we were completing the Grundy fight, excuse me, um, the DPS had a question to ask. Really, it was more of a weird question, but it was a question nonetheless. And he was saying, "Wow, so do we really not have 10k heals in here?" And so, you know, by the way, this is not a person that put the group together. This is just a random guy who just wanted the content ran. And pretty much, he was like, "Yeah, do we not have 10k heals?" And we were kind of confused because nothing bad happened. Everything was pretty okay. Um, so we were like, well, we noticed that we don't have 10k heals, but the healer's doing amazing. The healer's doing great. And even the leader was the tank, by the way. He was like, oh, well, yeah, we don't have 10k heals, but the heals were amazing. And the guy that was actually asking about, like, do we not have 10k heals, was going crazy. He was like literally going crazy and going mad because he was not receiving 10k heals. And for those who aren't really aware of what that means, 10K heals is basically like a full supercharge for EOG users. Let's say you may have someone that say, "Hey, do you have 5K heals?" That means that, hey, do you use like a 50% supercharge, which consists of 5,000? And of course, if you have 10K, that is literally a full bar of supercharge. So the person was complaining because they didn't receive a full supercharged EOG from the healer. Um, but the healer was really good. She was doing her job. She was keeping us healed up. I had no reason to complain. But I do understand that there are some people who believes in the EOG meta, um, which that is a conversation for another time. But I know a lot of people just like to use the EOG meta. Me personally, I am not the biggest fan of it, not because it doesn't hit hard or anything. It's like one of the most overpowered things that you could possibly use on DC Universe, but it's really more of like a moral thing. Nothing, no bad or wrong with it. Just it's not my playstyle. Um, but when it comes to the situation, honestly, the guy was being such a jerk. He was really being like a prick about the entire situation. And it even got to a point that as we were getting to the Superboy, or I think that's what you call him, boss fight, he was still complaining there because he feels as if that, hey, we could have had this kill done faster if you would have just had the 10K EOG. Once again, no one died. No one was losing anything at all from not having it. It was just the EOG user complaining. So as we continue with the story, the guy who was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go because I don't have to deal with this, and he left. I mean, obviously, he has a right to leave. If you don't want to deal with something, you can get up and go. But when it comes to just how you're acting as an individual, this is a regular pug group. If this is a group that you've put together, I completely understand why your healer isn't doing their job that you requested for, which was, can I please have a 10K EOG healer? And the healer would say, yeah, of course, I am that person. That's perfectly fine. Yes, you have every right to complain about it, but you didn't even put the group together. You didn't put the group together. You didn't put in the hard work people did put in order for everything to come together the way it did. You're just a DPS that just jumped into a group, and you're just whining and complaining because you couldn't get big numbers because you lacked it a EOG 10K healer. Once again, I don't have no problem with anyone that use EOG, but with this being said, now that I gotten the story portion out of the way, I'm going to go on. I don't know if this is a rant or not, but I just really want to give my thoughts on it. And it is really something concerning to me that I've been seeing recently on DC Universe Online. For the people that likes to use EOG, I've noticed that you guys play on a different playing field when it comes to the egotistical type of player. I don't think there's anything wrong with having an ego. It really helps out when it comes to the competitive side of a game, especially for MMOs like DC. But as a person who has experience when it comes to playing a team-based game, which really most MMOs are team-based, I think as long as we're working together to get the clear, I don't understand why there's a big issue or a big problem for why a person wasn't going 10K, was using 10K heals. My personal opinion. But at the same time, even if it is my personal opinion, there has to be some form of morals behind why you act the way that you're acting. And this is really for anyone who likes to use EOG. That's perfectly fine. And I love you guys for bringing very hard hitting DPS. I really appreciate you guys for giving us the best speed kills we can come up with. But unless we're really like hard focusing on like trying to get like a type of completion, when you're coming into a pub group, that's not a group you came up with, by the way. This is not your group. Can you please have some form of morals when it comes to who you are as a person? Like, this is a team-based game. This game requires you to be a team player. You're coming on to this game trying to bum rush through things, which once again, I agree. Like, I don't want anyone wasting my time either. I completely understand. But as a person that did not put the group together, it makes entirely no sense for me to complain about not having a particular buff to assist my playstyle. You're being rude, you're being condescending sometimes. And if nothing else, that I can say that I've noticed from most EOG users, most of you guys, not all of you, but I can say heavily on the word most. Most of you guys live a lifestyle of pure copium. I have never seen a group of individuals that lives a lifestyle of pure copium and feel as if that you're not a problem. I've never encountered such a thing before, in my personal opinion. But hey, what you probably may be asking, what do I mean by that? Is the fact that I understand that you have a certain play style. If you really are a good DPS, you need to be adaptable when it comes to certain situations. You're not going to always get what you want. It's never going to happen that way. It's not. It just the world doesn't revolve itself around you or your play style. There are people who literally get online to get the content ran and to get offline by all means. That means that, hey, I may be able to get an ELG group. I may not be able to get an ELG group. But you know what? It's fine. I just want to get my content ran and I want to get my currency or my loot and I want to get off. There are literally ELG users that literally plants themselves day in and day out running B&E in order for them to get like a good recording on their parts. And there's nothing wrong with that. I want you to know there's nothing wrong with that before anyone says, "Oh my gosh, this guy uh is complaining about something that's irrelevant." Everyone likes to get good parts on things. Like, there's not a problem with any of that. I don't have a problem with anyone trying to get their numbers in. But doing something like that may require a good organized group of people who really cares about stuff like that. This particular group that I was in, no one really cared about that. We all just wanted to get our clear so we can go home and just move on with our lives. But he's not the only individual that acted like that before. I've seen this happen on a multitude of times. I've seen ELG users just act so belligerent and so crude, so rude because of the fact that they did not receive the proper ELG treatment that they were supposed to receive. Now, I know that there are some players who act like that outside of ELG. I completely understand that too. But they're not really that proactive, if that makes any sense. They're not really that well known or seen from my eyes. I can't speak for anyone else's, but I can speak for mine. And I just really think that's just ridiculous, man. Like, we have got to get that under control. Like, I love DC just as much as anybody else does. But goodness gracious, it is never that serious. DC is probably one of the easiest MMOs I have ever played. It is not that difficult. It is not that crucial to not get an ELG, green ELG from a 10k healer. It is not that crucial. It is not life or death. This is a fun game, but if we can like not make it seem so like crucial, that would be lovely. Honestly, I don't want to be harassed by anybody because I don't use ELG, and me personally, I don't use it on my tank. I know without a doubt that a lot of people has been giving me some thoughts about using ELG for tanking, and it seems very useful, especially when you're trying to support your healer, and most definitely when you're trying to support your DPS by giving them more supercharge for them to do their thing. But I'm going to honestly let you know, I do not play DC Universe to feed my ELG users. That's not my job. My job is to do my part to get the content completed. Now, if it comes within the realm of using ELG, cool. That's perfectly fine. But it is not my job to do that. So I don't want to go round and around and talk about the same thing over and over. But I just really want to make this video to give my thoughts on that matter because honestly, it is by far the most cringe thing I've ever seen in an MMO. A person literally spazzes out on another player because of the fact that they didn't give them 10k EOG heals when it literally doesn't take that much DPS to get most content done on DC. Literally, it doesn't. You can melt through most bosses with little to no effort, depending on your group composition. And yes, that also includes EOG 10k heals, EOG tank 10k heals per se. Yes, I do understand that. But it doesn't take that much. This game is far too easy. I've seen content way harder on other platforms or other MMOs. Compared to DC, DC is like a walk in the park. That's no disrespect towards the game, but I'm just really being honest. DC is not a hard game to play. It is a very fun game to play, but it's one of the easiest MMOs I've ever put my hands on. One of. But yeah, it's just not that difficult. It's not that hard. Not to make light of something like this, but yeah, we got to do better. Um, LG users, please, can we just do better and calm down with the copium? You're literally living in a society that just should not exist in your head. Please stop. It's not that serious. You're going to get your completion. It's not like you're beating a world record by having um I don't know, the top boss damage or AoE damage. It doesn't matter. It's not that serious. Um, I'll just say if you're going to have a complaint about why uh, a 10k healer is not in the group doing their job, then I will highly advise for you to actually work on your own group. Most of you EOG DPS users don't even put your own groups together. You just get into other people's groups and just complain. Sorry, but not sorry. I'm not trying to be rude, but I just really think you guys were, that person in particular was being very rude to a person that was trying their hardest to help with a completion. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. I don't mean to like push this video any further than what it needs to be, but it was really annoying. It was an annoying topic that I've been meaning to talk about for a while now. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great one. Hopefully, I can have another video up really soon. If you really enjoy these story times, or you want to hear another story time or another thing I want to rant about when it comes to DC, um, leave a like. Comment below that you want to see more things like that. Or even if you do not agree with my stand on how that player was interacting with the healer, or you feel as if the EOG users deserve to act any way they want to. By all means, comment your thoughts. I actually want to see how everyone feels about it. Because it's my perspective, but it doesn't mean my perspective is always right. Please, I am very open to corrections. If I am being rude or anything like that, by all means, correct me and I will look into it. Maybe my perspective could change, depending on how people are able to persuade me to understand what they're coming from. But once again, this has been your boy Big Hints. Thank you so much for watching, and you guys have a great day. All right, peace.